Yo, wicked, wicked. Welcome to another Def Galaxian event. My main man here at the BMX track, fresh and cooling out, is the one and only Scott Eddington, known as Cool back in the day of the Graph days. So he used to roll with Ultra Style Kings, Tez and Lev and Jaffa, and a few others there, Hams of course, yep, legends. So we're looking at the very cool book that Aron Reimer has put out, showcasing some of the early years of 80s graffiti.
And it's bringing back some memories.
And you can see right there, there's that shock piece and the Tezza piece, Sparks, some cool stuff there, Ghetto. And there's a photo of Scott doing one of his aerials at his famous half-pipe ramp. And well, how did it happen? I was rolling up through Cybex Hills on my BMX, probably a Diamondback at the time. Ran into a guy that was zinging up in the air on a Hutch Trickstar, a big silver one. Getting, trying different tricks, the look back and all that. Remember Todd Anderson? Yep, we were trying tricks from what our heroes were in BMX Plus and freestyling. So, yeah, tell them, man. Tell them about those early days, you know, sponsored by GT and all that with BMX. And
God, the racing days, yeah.
Yeah, racing days.
I remember trying to build the ramps, like, we're all, like, I don't know how old, and knocking off building materials from here and there, you know, just scraping together what we could just to make a ramp. The first ones were a bit sketchy, but, you know. That's
it, man, that's it. And when we made the ramp, we had a few accidents too, didn't we? Some guys put their knee in the plywood.
Yeah.
Other guys stacked it.
But lucky we had Tez, because Tez was the main one that figured out how to make them properly, you know, because we needed someone a bit older, a bit more experienced, so, you know.
Oh, there you know. There you see the woodcraft of Tez, eh? He was, he was doing various things.
Well, he was good at pieces, and
he was good at pieces and spray paint, eh? Yeah. And what was the early days of DJ Biz and all that? Tell us a bit about that. What happened with the records and you recording tapes for your...
Yeah, well, I started with the old pause jobs, you know, pause job tapes and all that stuff. And
pause mixing, pause,
all that stuff, and then just, cool shit to ride to, basically, you know.
That's right, that's right.
Biz and Jaffa or whatever, you know, they were into the music, so they were always bringing the cool tunes around. And
that's right. And I remember you playing Spider D, I Can't Wait, all the time.
Better memories than me.
That was a good one. Yeah, we've got jaded memories a little bit, but we remember our ghettos, and this is similar probably to one of the ghettos that he used to have outside his window with his trophies there, and we would jam it, weren't we? Yeah. So tell us about some of the bikes that you went through in your career of doing...
I reckon I had one of everything at some point, you know. Sometimes I'd have something for a week, sometimes for a month, but it was just lots of swapping and changing and bartering and all the rest of it, so yeah.
That's right, lots of different parts and stuff.
Yeah, but I'd always come back to GTs because I just loved them. They were, like, to me they were the best, but, you know, I'd try other things.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And there was one time I came to your ramp and you were trying, I think you got it though, it was a 540.
Oh yeah.
And this is early days, you know, when guys are trying it. And you pulled it off, which was amazing. I loved that.
You had a surprised look on my face too. Yeah.
Oh yes, you did. Yes, you did. So what was some of your favourite type of aerial manoeuvre tricks in the air?
To tell you the truth, my favourite thing was just coming home and just no one else there, just doing big airs, you know, not doing crazy shit, because, like, you know, crazy shit usually ended up with a crazy crash.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, but just, you know, getting high, not crashing, and just putting the bike away and doing it again the next day.
And what's the highest you reckon you did get, like a foot above the coping?
Maybe 10 or 12 foot or something.
Yeah, 10 or 12 foot, so that's up there. Mike Dominguez and all that, they were sort of doing that.
There's a favourite expo photo I got, and they're standing there with their arms up and they're like about 4 foot above their hand, you know. That was good. It would have gone higher if there was more room, but there was, on a quarter pipe you had to pedal up, you know. So
that's right.
And then not hit the brakes.
Absolutely. That was Expo 88. Yeah. You did a bit of that, and the B-Boy All-Stars did the Expo 88 as well. So there was all these connections amongst you know, B-boys that were you know, breakers, aerial BMX and graffiti was all in the mix.
Yeah, everyone knew everyone. It was good.
It was a really good time, and it was
what they call it, the big country town or whatever. Yeah,
that's right, big country town. So awesome. Thanks for that. Cool, and known as Cool back in the day. So enjoy that mag, and stay tuned to the second edition coming out that Aron's working on at the moment. Peace. Alright, just clanging some beer. Just had a good interview with Bill and Scott, the Ariel King. Yeah, I'm going to try to stop into the guy that wrote the book, Quintessence, Aron Reimer. So let's see how we go.
I feel like I'm like
checking out the dough. That's it. Yeah, I got him. I got him. He's trying to relax, and I've walked in. Of course, that's me. Cybex always chilling and illin' down in the place to be. And today I'm with the author of Quintessence, a really amazing book showcasing early '80s graffiti. So tell me about the that book and how it came about.
Okay, well, it's been such a long time. I'm going to crack this because it'll make me relax.
Great, you nice cracked that beer. That's why I brought the beer, so we can crack it.
Twist top?
Yes, mate, twist top, man.
Oh,
absolutely,
you really
twist
do
top.
know me. Right.
I do know you, man. I can read the play. Yeah, so early days of graffiti. We should probably say, like, you know, the first time you sort of thought about the spray can and hearing music of what was breakdancing and things going on at the time. What was your recollection of seeing it? And
they would be, in my experience, the best times, up there with the best times of my life. Say if there's an arc of my life, they'd be. I always remember 1984 as a kind of changing point in life. Even though I was young, I was probably 11 or so, something.
Yeah.
I think that was a good age because you could see these older guys who suddenly got into the breakdancing who were unreal, and this electro music that came with it I'd never heard before, on records that had art that I'd never seen before, and the whole thing was rap. It was ecstatic, I suppose is the word, because it went on and on and on.
Yeah,
and
it was.
As it went on, like nature, it grew, you know. And there was that's like say there was a seed, and a tree was an apple tree, and that was my graffiti. Over the years, it grew like that, and then produced its own fruit.
That's right, and then that's right, and then you would sort of see books like, well, say Subway Art, when that came out, and we'd see the Stylz of arrows going through pieces, and then 3D colour bits, and I guess you took your own version of what you were going to do on the wall. Yeah, they were. I'm still looking to go to the State Library to see if I can dig up some old photos of some of those really early pieces, because as you'd remember, the only time the camera came out when we were young, before digital cameras, was you know, if you took a photo on your birthday or Christmas or say your friends came round or something like that. It'd be rare. Yeah, that's it.
You'd be all dressed up as something for the photo, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so it didn't occur that I didn't see graffiti from the future. I was still too young.
That's right. We're all very young into all these subcultures, you know, with BMX and that, with half pipes and things, and then graffiti. And then we're talking about tape edit, pause, editing. We'd get tapes and play mixed tapes of early hip-hop. Houdini, you were saying Houdini was an early record that you heard.
Yes.
Haunted House? No, not Haunted House of Rock. It was Magic's Wand, right?
Magic's Wand.
That
was
it.
The first. That's probably the earliest track I remember outside of the pop ones, the Rocksteady Crew type, the stuff that came under 2 or 3 songs.
That's right, yeah.
And, but once there were these Polynesian guys at the school, and I was dancing, and they just opened a whole new world to me, and they were sort of only into the breaking for a year or two. but they just had knowledge to me of all these records and I just, to get a tape in the end and play it at the Launton skate line.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Through big speakers, there'd be the guy go, you know how they go, it was time for the breakdancing competition. And,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And we'd all come out and spread, the floor would spread around and there'd be whoever wanted to battle whoever.
That's right, that's right. And it was both. It was body popping.
Yes.
And breakdancing,
Yeah.
and it was everything like that. And from the movies, Beat Street, of course, and yeah, that was a big influence as well. And
it was massive.
Massive, yes.
It's underrated, and people sort of diss it because of wild style. But if you lived in Australia, you didn't get the chance to see wild style first. That just didn't. It wasn't
That's
released
right.
here.
Yeah, only certain people would see that, but yeah. So with the book and everything, you've basically showcased early Southside Brisbane artists and Northside, Caboolture line, various different train lines, and a bit of Gold Coast. So some of the artists feature Scan and a few people like that. So yeah, tell us a bit about that.
Well, when I was a teenager and the graffiti was starting around 1987. I think I had cousins that lived on the Gold Coast and we'd go to visit, and my cousin had his bushy and they were all surfers and they took me around. They were ex-breakers and they knew where all these pieces were.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen these ones on the Gold Coast, so I had a camera with me. And I took a bunch of photos and then later I found more who did the pieces and so forth. And I was pretty stunned when I saw them, and so when I did the book, because there'd been a lot of the West Line had been covered, and some of the views from Jason Woodward's side of that he put into his book,
yep.
And then so the other facts and the ones that because we were going to do something together, but there were too many hiccups and problems with people not liking whoever and all that, so I just backed out of that, and this is what's come about, and so I've started to put together the collection of the photographs that I made over probably a decade.
That's right, and a lot of, even myself, there's some pieces in there that I've never got to see back then that just blew my mind seeing now. So fantastic effort on doing that, and not giving too much away, but you're in for a second edition,
yes.
showcasing more the 90s a little
yes.
bit. So that's something you're in the works doing, right?
Yeah, it's a kind of, what do they call it, an organic process?
Organic, yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's, I'm very open to, I know that there's more photos from the 80s to in the future. I can see it, but how do I describe it? It's like an almanac of these different eras and people's viewpoints and experiences from everybody that I think I can be fair to as best as I can.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing, and we're all very excited about it. And so far, there's some editions of the first one available around the place, which will be
Yes,
people get their hands on them.
Yeah, we're doing a reprint because that was the first one that I've done, and so when I got back and read some of it, I could see what I was used to in text messages, which was the computer was. I don't know what it was saying. It was like what. And so, yeah, okay, that was a bit of a lesson, but not a big one, because in all fairness, I was very happy that the feedback has been positive.
Fantastic. Well, we're all excited about it, and best of luck with the second edition. The first edition is out, and it is Aron Reimer's with Quintessence, a nice little book there showcasing early 80s graffiti. So thanks very much, Aron. And peace out from the Cybex.
And Quintessence is the fifth element.
Absolutely, fifth element. Yes.
Fantastic. That comes out of the four.
Yeah, cool bananas.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was with graffiti, because you had the breaking, the graffiti, the emceeing, and the rapping.
Yeah.
With the four elements that created the fifth.
Yeah.
Which is what we have.
And just lastly, I just remembered. A bag that I found many years ago when I went to the Hall of Fame where the Joke and Homeboy piece, where Hams did, and there was other pieces down where Price did and things. There was a bag left when I was taking photos of a guy called Jeno, who's from Sydney. Now, I didn't know what to do at the time, but I grabbed the bag anyway, and many, what is it, 35 years later, I think, he was friends with Jeno, and I said, man, you know him? And he said, yeah. And just tell him what happened. You gave him the bag, right? You gave him the bag after that long.
I'll give you the quick connection, because at the end of 1987, the Hams and Jaffa put on the flyer for a Def Jam, which was Brisbane's first. And
that's right.
The Sydney boys happened to be here at the time. Jeno and Amos. Jeno and just amazed everybody because he just bombed so hard and was pretty mad with it all and was really good.
Yeah, great colours and writing scheme. Very cool.
And so that was that, and then all this time later with the digital communication, I was able to message and speak and all that, and you came over and so I found this all these years. And it was Geno's bag.
Yeah.
And I had his throw-ups and his square.
I know, yeah, funny stuff. Hey, I was taking it to school and I had a Beastie Boys patch on it for years going to high school,
Well, he did thank you, and a lot of the Sydney, there was a lot of Sydney writers that saw it, and all were amazed. Oh, that's what he said. He said...
the memories come flooding back.
He went, St. Mary's Army Disposal, yeah.
So there you go, the Jeno, you finally got your bag back, bro.
Yeah.
So, well done, and keep peacing out there.
Yeah, that was excellent. That really blew everyone
Yeah,
away.
well, it's a little bit with the book, It's kind of like these things of history come flooding back sometimes, and you never know what you see or catch.
Box, so he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Everyone was amazed. But.
Yeah, cool bananas.
artist in
It's the fresh ski, Cybex, another Def Galaxian event. Well, we got another cat here that's been hanging down, and he's telling me he knew about the early days and hanged around at the coffee shop. B-Boy Busk and a few other people. So tell them a bit about yourself, mate.
Hey, yeah, B-Boy Stylz, or MC Stylz. Most people probably know me. I was more of a rapper back in the day, but TRP crew. We used to smash the lines pretty much from city outwards to past the old jail and all the way down the Beanley line. But that were the good days. Only Spillway, now it's legal. That's funny to say.
Okay,
we
yeah,
used
wicked.
to thrash the shit out of that all the time. But,
Okay.
yeah, I haven't been back up here for 23 years, so
Right.
the scene's a little bit vacant to me, you know what I mean? I haven't bumped into too many people, but...
Well, it's a lot of changes that have happened, but we're more talking about histories here and the beginning days of what did you first, did you see Subway art book first? Was that, what was the influence with graffiti? What made it appealing? The artistry in the words, the letters, that sort of thing?
Oh,
Or was it just...
the conformity of the non-conformity of it all, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like in the scene itself, the
Yeah.
simplicity of what we did back in the day was difficult to others. You know, as they say, people can't read graffiti. Well, back in those days we didn't give a shit whether they read graffiti.
That's
or
right.
They read it was for us, you know what
It
I mean?
was for us, that's right.
And that was, you know, the illegalities of it all and all the things and the times and places that had to go into just making that one masterpiece happen at night.
Absolutely.
That's the history of what it really was, a legacy, you know.
That's right. And
Simplicity of Ghost Riders, whereas all the styles got crushed back in the day. And same as musical notes and songs get recycled and everything, so does every style there is. So
yeah,
it feels good to actually be probably an early originator from back in those days.
that's
See
right.
what's going on now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. There was many artists, some of the artists showcasing their styles back then were very inventive, and characters were done pieces too, weren't they? So
Well, there was always one who did the characters who was good at that, and then there was always a writer who could wild style it and do the mad pieces, but you get the odd writer out that could do both. And
That's
just
right.
Crush everyone, like maybe Bribe.
yeah,
James
right.
here.
Bribe was one.
You know what
Yeah,
I
he
mean?
was definitely
Back
one.
in the day.
Yeah. What about the cans? Did you use the old Tucson?
Yeah, old Tucsons used to even use the old Dulux pin nozzles, Dulux acrylic water bases, Kill Rust, White Knights,
Yeah.
all chisel tips. Everything was about can control and half nozzle back in those days.
Yes, it was. Absolutely, it was. Some of the new techniques, they use special things to, make colours and fades and things like that.
We used to mix back in the day from can to can.
Oh, okay, yeah, wow.
20 whites and buy every can in the spectrum down on this side, so you've got 7 full colours. Empty all the air out of your whites upside down.
Yep.
Inject the colour in the air back up into your whites and do all your tints.
Right.
And that's how we got all our pastels back in the day.
Wow,
But
fantastic.
you never make them twice.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's inventive for the time. Yeah, isn't it?
Well, you can't see inside a can, you know what I mean?
No, you can't. You can't.
There's a mystery that...
Yeah. So at the coffee shop, you used to see all of the dancers, the B-Boy All-Stars forming from the stuff.
From the
and
beginning.
ICF, Inner City Funk, was another crew there. And B-Boy Busk, another friend, a classic old B-Boy tracksuit.
He used to come up from the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, Scan, who features in Quintessence, also
Let's
that
not
book.
forget Mr. Frickman.
Oh yes, old
It
Peter.
doesn't go back further than that, you know what I mean? Old Mr. Madhouse.
Absolutely, Mr. Madhouse. Big shout to you.
Yeah, shout out to one of the original old schoolers for real. You know what I mean? And but it's not just about the graph. Back in the day too, we used to pop the shows and do all the club scene in town, and as much chance as we could get to get any mic time or anything like that. We just take it, and sometimes we didn't have permission. We just get up on stage and start.
Well, that's right. That's right. And I remember popping Chuck. He was a guy I was popping with at Rumours and Wall Street, some of the nightclubs, where people would just come out and dance, you know, and do this robot electric stuff. Which, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Still waving, body waving, which is...
That's about all I'm good for these days.
Yeah, well, that's it, eh? It's a lovely show of fresh skills that we used to do back then. Yeah,
well, we'd get looked at like we were doing something wrong. If you remember, we used to break dance on the street and the police would think we were fighting.
Well, it's funny you say that. Yeah, we used to think we were gangs. We're wearing tracksuits and that, and we were the gangs, but we're getting chased by the skinheads down the bloody road.
Yeah, and then the punks up in the mall, they used to do it as well, and then you get the heavy metal blokes that come up from...
Yep, the metal guys.
Winner Manly side all that way, and they come into town, but
yeah,
they were the days.
Yeah,
back when hip hop was more like you had to be. Actually, there was quite a lot of indigenous blokes back in the day.
That's right.
The rest of them were like hard white guys, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You look back at the Clan.
Yeah, the Clan, yes.
Bandits, you know what I mean?
That's right. There was a few cats there, and there was
gangsters. Everyone remembers Shane and Mira.
Yeah.
Shane, Ryan, and Mira.
Okay.
I mean? Like, you know, that's where they started off in hip hop and just ended up following over into the other side of it.
Yeah.
But hey, no one remembers the 90s, man. The music pushed us in that direction, didn't it?
That's right. Music pushes subcultures, and they move into different forms and things, and sometimes we all get
conformed,
wiped out by it, like the rave scene, like me.
Well,
but I'm okay. Yeah.
I never did the rave scene that much, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
I never got into that hard, the hard chemical side of all that sort of shit. I like to sing and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
I remember I used to go to Patches and Beat and all those sort of places because they allowed us in there in our tracksuits, and they allowed us to go in there and do what we wanted and break dance. And
that's right. That's that late, you know, 1988 was a big year for hip hop, and there was a lot of that going on with dancing in places like Patches and things. And then even some B-Boy All Stars going down to Gold Coast. I remember down the coast. And I was touching earlier on Expo '88. B-Boy All Stars performed there, and my mate Scott Eddington performed there with Aerial BMX, half pipes and stuff. So yeah, all these subcultures. There's a big mix there of cats, you know, that still remember and still love it today.
Long live Brisbane.
So long live Brisbane hip hop. That's it.
Never dies.
Thanks, sir, for that beautiful interview. Peace
out, Stylz TRP. Keep rocking.
In a man. Deaf.
Spray your name everywhere you can. Make yourself the most famous graffiti.
Fred Cybex up at DJ Cybex up at Brisbane. I think when was this one of his? You can see some early B-boy character stuff. Cybex, I think he made inspired because we had Hot Gun and Vegas was going. We got some mad little B-boy characters, MC Duke, interviews and stuff like that, or vinyl. We got Chubb Rock, who's mostly based on music, and Mantronics. We got Tommy Boy stuff, Johnson Crew. We got the Smurf, Lost in Space. We got there some nice B-boy drawings and Megatron, as we all know, Megatron. So. And you can catch this guy still, and he's still DJing. We've got Devise there, we've got Snap Out Live from Hams. That looks like a Monica piece that was down at Brisbane Hall of Fame. Some of you guys remember that. It's a great album. I think it looks like a Hams album on the top there. And so this must have been, what year, can't quote me, but this is what they sort of came down to. People were just, this is built for the internet days. Like I said, before the internet days, Futura, 2008 here, got some another big Justin Aquila, Briar artwork. Got Dirty Diane by Hams, some terrific stuff there. That was early late 80s Futura right here. There's some Futura artwork. So that's some of the stuff that was coming.
When the guy spray cans and spray your name everywhere you can, make yourself the most famous graffiti